We're in the brand new, not even released yet, Toyota Venza.
Indeed. 2021 Toyota Venza. Venza.
It's back.
Venza.
And I don't know, it's back for vengeance. I don't know what's going on. It's all bad. So
I thought it went away. I thought it totally went away.
It did go back. Well, but here's the thing. It's back because I think Toyota went, wait a minute, we have this name and we have a place to put it. It is back to be, honestly, the Prius SUV.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
Everything about this is the Prius feel and running gear at SUV size. In fact, even look at the side profile. It's like jacked way up on its suspension. There's a ton of jounce
Prius.
there. There's a ton of jounce there.
There is jounce. Thank you for using jounce.
Tons of it.
I'm teaching everybody jounce. It's the top of the wheel to the bottom of the wheel are jounce.
And there's a lot. You could put on like
jounce.
big old knobby tires or something. Of course, then your miles per gallon would be down. The intention of this is miles per gallon. It has all the Prius running gear. It is the Prius of SUVs because, again, it's a hybrid.
Yes.
With a CVT and electric motors, and it's always thinking, and you're not the one thinking. So it says in the press materials, in quotes, the driver can downshift. Downshift is in quotes. When you put downshift in quotes, you have told me clearly I am not involved.
As you may have noticed, Todd and I usually like the hybrid version of whatever Toyota model that is new and has come out. We usually, and surprising to us too, we have selected the hybrid as the better car to drive. It's
quite a few
either
times.
More seamless shifting or just a better riding and better operating kind of car. And so come to find out, the 2021 Venza only comes as the hybrid. They do not offer a gasoline engine option only. If you want a Venza, you're getting the hybrid.
It is
We're shocked by
significant that this is only being released this time. What is the Venza's place in the lineup? Because I thought about that. Where does this go? Toyota has tons of CUVs and SUVs. They have tons of stuff in the lineup that makes it feel like this would be an overlap, except for that reality, and that is this is hybrid only. And I think it is the closest to the Prius in drive style, but is an SUV. It's the Prius SUV. Thanks for watching. That's my big
Just
point.
Kidding. No, I actually think that's pretty accurate. And what that means is a 4-cylinder engine with 176 horsepower plus 3 electric motors gives you a total of 219.
Woo, 219.
3 electric motors. But what Toyota is doing is balancing more than they have mechanically. They're balancing the torque front and rear more than they ever have. Because this will operate as a front-wheel drive car. It feels like it looks like it. There's a prow boat kind of nose on the front end.
It is like cutting through the concrete there, and leaving a wake behind it. That's very much what it looks like. You're right.
Trying to be gentle. However, being able to have the electric motors in play means they can split more of the torque to the rear, up to 80% of torque to the rear. I'm not saying the Venza is a drift machine. That's not the point.
No, we're really... turn it off now if that's what you're thinking. There will be no Venza drifting in this video, just so you're aware.
But it's interesting to be able to split more of the torque. They're adding electric motors, and to do that, they had to go with a new battery. It is not a nickel metal hydride battery. It is a lithium-ion battery, which means it's lighter in weight, and it has a better service life.
Okay.
This is very interesting to me because that means the overall weight of the car is less than you'd think.
True.
We're in the XLE trim version here. This is about 3,900 pounds, which most sedans, a lot of cars are 3,900 pounds. So by doing that, they've kept it a little bit lighter. And 219 horsepower sounds like not that much.
It isn't that much.
But it drives better and it feels quicker than you'd think.
Okay. Except for the fact that I just think that eCVT just lets the whole system down.
It does.
You're desperate. You're searching for the power.
I did kind of like it in the Highlander.
Fine.
It made the car move with vigor.
Yes, it did. No, we did like it in the Highlander hybrid. You're right. This one, I keep wanting more than it has, but then I come back to that's not the point.
It's not the point.
The point here is, and it must have said it 3 times, again, back in the press materials, how much they're aiming for a CUV that gets 40 miles to the gallon.
And I think because of that, it's going to appeal to pre-I owners and people who have never before considered SUV, and they think, all right, combined I get 40 and maybe a little bit more. That's actually important, and Toyota's identified that. They are now, in my mind, the king of hybridization.
Yes,
they are. They have done it so well and have continued to do it, and now I feel like they're listening to us in a weird way. I feel like well, guys, this is the only flavor that you really like of any of our SUVs. That's how we'll build it. That is how it comes. The only difference is trim levels and a few other features. It also comes with the PED system.
Yes, thank you.
Speaking of tech, this is a system that utilizes your nav system. It knows where you are, and it optimizes the charging of the car and the recharging of the battery. So I'll give you an example. On your commute, you take the same hill downhill every time.
Yes.
Instead of you applying more braking, it will automatically know where you are, and if you're going to be going down a hill shortly with no traffic, and therefore it will automatically use more engine braking than allowing you to use the brakes. It just knows that, and so therefore it'll charge the battery sooner and more often just because of its learning ability.
If you read between the lines, there's other things going on there, because the car is learning your regular routes, like your commute.
It is.
To try to tell you as a driver and help you as a driver to be as efficient as possible. Now, that also suggests that the gas pedal is going to fight you in various places to try to keep you from being inefficient. The system is learning what your drive requires.
We haven't experienced that.
And that's true, because we've driven it all over the place. Because it's trying to optimize the car for efficiency first.
Right.
That means not for power, that means not for engagement, for efficiency.
Not for driver, not for you.
If you are a commuter and that's how you use it as a commuter, that's fine. But I've been in cars before, Toyotas for example, where you put them in eco mode and the gas pedal fights you. I see it, I get the efficiency argument, but I also could see where the car is now telling you how much gas to do, because I've had it happen on cars that weren't that smart.
Yeah. This car is not about the driving experience.
No.
Obviously. It's not about how the handling feels. It's not about how it's weighted through the corners and the center of gravity and the rotation inertia. It's not about any of those things. What it is about is filling your needs at the right price, and you thought, I never thought I could own an SUV for the brood, for my stuff, have it stylish if you like it, and I get 40 combined. And there's a lot of stylistic elements that I do like. I like that they're trying things here. They're making it very directional, and it appears more sporty in a sense. It appears more like a coupe SUV. There's something here. That's not really the case. But what it does do is make it a little bit more elegant than more of an entry-level vehicle.
That's honestly the only place that separates it from the RAV4. Because the RAV4 comes in hybrid and honestly breaks 40 miles to the gallon in hybrid in there. So that is the real, they've got a competitor in their own stable, but do you want the rugged look of the RAV4? And actually this rides better.
This does ride better. I do like the ride quality. They have to sell you on ride quality. So that continues through the interior, this premium kind of feel here. And to make premium, you're asking me, what is premium? What is it? It is symmetry. And they've got a good thing going on here, but they've got a giant round power button. And the question is, where do you put it? What did the designers do with this thing? What they have decided to do was dangle it from the bottom of the instrument panel here. I question the success.
Tactfully put.
Okay, that aside, the rest of the interior does feel nice. It feels classy, clean, and it's going to be pretty nice for a long time. The seats are good, actually. I do like the seat comfort over here. It's got the lumbar support over here. It's not bad.
The front seats are excellent. The back seats actually, they rake back a lot more than I expected them to. They lean back quite a bit, and they aren't adjustable. However, they do have a decent amount of legroom. Not awesome, but they've definitely optimized how roomy it feels back there by leaning you back as a passenger in the back.
That's a trick.
They've played with that for real. However, also behind those seats is a good amount of space.
It's actually
this is only a 5-seater, but if you had 5 people and a lot of gear would go back there for sure. Can I put a terrible thing in your head?
Oh, no.
I've got the power song to go with the power button.
Oh.
You're all thanking me now. You're all thanking me. There it was, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right.
Yeah.
You might think that having this new battery technology and having a battery on board, especially with a pure battery electric vehicle or just a hybrid alone, you're thinking, all right, 5 years tops, 4 years before that battery dies, before you're going to have to get warranty coverage or you're going to have to pay for it itself. The warranty on the Venza is astounding. The battery has a 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty on it.
That is impressive, actually.
The hybrid system has an 8-year warranty on 100,000-mile warranty on it.
Okay.
So if you're concerned about buying one of these and you think, well, it's got the battery, it'll have to be changed out, it'll go bad at some point, Toyota is now backing that up and putting their money down by A, building just this as a hybrid alone, and B, giving you a 10-year warranty on the battery, 150,000 miles. And it comes back to our discussion about car manufacturers pushing their own technology by first setting a stake in the ground with their warranty and then building their cars to meet that warranty.
Yes.
That's what that feels like to me.
Yep.
And I mean that as a compliment to Toyota.
This has all of the whirs and clicks and computer sounds that go with any hybrid you may have driven. This doesn't have any of the normal car sounds. Now, if you're a person that drives a hybrid, you're not going to care. It's going to feel pretty normal. I am yet to hear the actual gasoline motor in this car. I've heard tires.
When
I've heard
get into
wind.
it, when you really
hang on.
You use all the power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see?
All right, a little bit. All right, good.
Are you in sport mode?
I am in sport mode.
Okay, good.
I'm in sport mode. It goes with downshift. Yes. So, I mean,
I don't know what that means.
You rarely ever hear that motor. You've got to, as I just did, you've got to really punch it to hear that motor. But I am going along at, above the labeled freeway speed because that's kind of our standard default.
Yeah.
And it's easy
I guess so.
and quiet with computer noises while that happens. I mean, you hear the whir of the tires, you hear the wind going by, you hear the whir of the motor that sounds like something that is more like computer or vacuum than it does actual gasoline car. And even with actually burying the pedal, we've just come off full recently. And we've driven this quite a bit, so there definitely is gas mileage. That is the first and foremost. There's not any steering feel.
No,
it has a video game feel where the world is going by, and
the world moves in the windshield.
Exactly. I would like the world to move. I should turn this big disc here, and the world moves. Yeah. This isn't why you buy the car. The ride here, as I've said before, the ride here and the way that it handles its weight when you give it a corner. Not because you're hooning, but because life has corners, it actually has a better ride than the RAV4. The RAV4 maintains a little bit of, I'm an off-roader, and this just doesn't do that at all. And this has better seats. Again, I have to say, these are excellent seats. So I think that may be the buyer that almost wants the Lexus RX, or I'll go one this way. You prefer the beak on this to the Predator maw on the Lexus.
Look, I like that style is being tried, that it's not the typical, here's the headlights, here's the grille, the opening, we got to cool the car, so we'll put a mouth down low and, give it a shoulder line. I like that things are being tried.
There's a lot going on at the back of this car.
There is.
I can't believe the number of indents and pieces that pop out. It's crazy in the back quarter of this car.
Yep, so LED lights, whatever package you get, so LED headlights, but it's got that LED strip all the way across. And it's been tried on other cars since, the 70s and 80s. It's, Porsches had them all the way across. But this does actually kind of ramp it up into something new and fresh. It does feel fresh. And in this day and age, it's hard to do fresh at a cost. And for everything that you were saying, all those elements, that's interesting to me.
If you add to this, you get and we have not been able to get it on this, unfortunately.
Yes.
You can get the actual camera mirror, which we are big fans of. You get typically more visibility than you do with a standard rearview mirror. So you can get the camera mirror, and then what do they call them? The Stargaze, whatever. There it is.
Stargaze roof.
Yeah.
Actually, they're putting electrochromic glass in the Venza as a huge panoramic roof. It goes from glass clear to frosted when you touch the button.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. So it offers this different feel in the cabin. It's pretty interesting.
Even with it frosted over, it would create an airy, lighter, brighter air feel to this cabin. I mean, this is a pretty dark headliner here, so you would definitely feel the difference. But because you can make it opaque or frosted, if you would, you're not going to feel the sun beating through the oven door, as you like to call it.
The oven door.
Feel that for sure.
That's why I slam it closed every time. Anyway, so I like that Toyota is pushing on this. I like their thinking. I'm intrigued that they're continually pushing their tech, and now they just said, no more gas engines. This is how it comes.
Somebody's sitting in the break room, looking at the product lineup of Toyota with their coffee mug going, hybrid, Prius, SUVs are selling, and eventually their eyes got blurry and those two concepts merged, and you wind up with the Venza.